So let's just get into this sort of defense thing. Like Trump is saying that probably he'll just stop, taking care of the defense for Japan, U.S.-Japan Security Treaty. And we don't know whether he's serious or not, whether the news itself is real or not. But that's being reported, like in the past several hours. So how do you see that?
Well, before I came here tonight, I was actually writing.
Is that right?
So the cabinet secretary, Mr. Suga, he made comments on that at his press conference in the afternoon, and he said that so Trump had contacted Japan to reassure Japan that he was committed to the alliance. But interestingly, though, he didn't deny that the story that he said that. So.
That's his usual trend.
Yes, so it may be, as you mentioned in the introduction, maybe it's a ploy by him to do with the trade. So he's, if he links defense with trade, which has always been a taboo, I think, here, then he puts pressure on Japan to do something over trade. So he said it's not the case, and I very, very, very seriously doubt that the US would pull out of that treaty. I mean, the consequences would be just too horrendous to consider. I mean, the power balance in Asia would be thrown into disarray. If the US had to pull back its aircraft strike group, its marine expeditionary forces down in Sasebo, or its marines from Okinawa, then where does that leave Japan and where does that leave America against its kind of power balance with China? For US industry, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, they sell billions of dollars of equipment in Japan every year. If that market was to disappear, and it's their richest overseas market, they're too embarrassed to actually say how much money they make in Japan, but they make a lot of money here. So it would be a big hit to them as well. So the consequences would point to it being very, very unlikely that's going to happen. Even if Trump in the Oval Office kind of says, oh well, maybe we should pull out of the treaty. From thinking about it to actually doing it, there's a long kind of many long way to go towards that. So the Bloomberg story, it was on Bloomberg News where this story came out. They didn't say who'd said it, but they did say they had 3 sources. I work for Bloomberg, so I kind of understand sort of how they work, and I think you can trust them that they're not making this up. That they were told by 3 separate sources that Trump had said this. So I think the news source is trustworthy. But the intentions of the people who gave this information to Bloomberg, I don't know. I mean, we can speculate as to the reasons why, but
you know what? It's very interesting that this source would make some panic to Japanese or not. Maybe not, because nobody believes what Trump says. Not only these things, anything.
Is that true?
He's a professional liar. No, I didn't say that. That Bob Woodward wrote about it. So I think the big trouble is, of course, nobody believes the words of U.S. president is a really bad thing. But of course, maybe some people need to believe, like, recently the Trump said that I stopped military retaliation against Iran 10 minutes before. Maybe. I don't know if it was 10 minutes or something, but it was clearly that Trump once approved the military action and decided to pull back. Why? That's simply try to maximize his pressure to Iran. That's kind of the truth of the Trump. So that's very easy to understand his pattern. Very pattern. So this time also, try to maximize pressure to Abe to consider the trade negotiation because I know Trump never know how the U.S.-China trade talk, and if I failed, clearly the China put probably more tariff over the U.S. agricultural goods, and I think for compensation, probably the easier for the Trump to. Or now, the Japan purchase more agricultural goods. You don't have to worry about the China's issue. I think these kind of things actually are already everybody knows. I think recently New York Times maybe I think cover the story. All U.S. allies get used to the pattern of Trump rhetoric and reality.
I would like you to think about any one of these three things. Would G20, WTO type of things survive? Let's just focus on G20. And also, another big issue which I am interested in is that US and China are sort of trying to get in the leadership position in the world, particularly in the technology area. Huawei is one good example. And if they go against with each other, which they will, I think, it's going to be, the world is going to be divided into two parts, to me. And if that's what happens, which side do we want to go with? Which side do you want to go? And I think that's another question which has been in my mind, and I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. But technological leadership is a very, very important issue from now on, rather than the trade as such. So that's the kind of thing that I would like you to think a little bit about and see what happens. And the third thing is that what kind of role do you want Prime Minister Abe to play at G20? What would be the ideal description of Prime Minister Abe coming out of G20, at the end of G20? How would you describe this? Is this the great negotiator, or is he the person who can get along with everybody, or is he the person who just didn't get anything done? Any one of these things. So what kind of role would be ideal for you? If you were an assistant or advisor to Prime Minister Abe, what would you advise? What advice would you give it to him to meet with all sorts of things and a lot of things going on?
Hi, my name is Keiichi, and we discuss a lot. And first of all, I'd like to talk about the leadership of Abe. And he's a Prime Minister of Japan, so he have to control. He have to harmony. Japan is very important, so he is very good at the harmony. But on the contrary, leadership maybe so. That's why I think from now on he have to show his leadership for the coming next few years. If he can be the Prime Minister of Japan.
Okay. What specific things do you recommend him?
Because 2 days ago, yesterday there was a very big speech in Okinawa. So everybody, Japanese people, are expecting that Prime Minister of Japan have to say something about the base issue in Okinawa, but he didn't say nothing. So looks like he would run away from the Okinawa problem or something.
I see.
Even though it was a complex matter,
but that was a very good opportunity for him to state his view about Okinawa, because Okinawa is a big deal, and there have been a lot of argument. And particularly so now that Trump is saying that they're going to forget about this defense thing. Because Okinawa is a big deal, big part of the U.S. base. Okay, good. What else? Go ahead.
So my name is Toshi, and we'll be talking about the United States versus China, especially in terms of technology.
Yeah.
So from the viewpoint of a Google employee, it is very
Good. Yeah.
It's a very nice place to play because of the huge population in China, and also China is very straightforward. If they follow the new technology, it's very easy and the fastest to grow inland inside China. But actually, at the same time, it's very important to consider the outcome of the growth of the new business. So, in terms of the democracy, it's very important to think of the consequence of the business growth. So, in the United States, even if it is not so convenient or so straightforward, but actually, it's eventually important to maintain democracy to divide the outcome or the new outcome of the new business.
Right.
So our conclusion would be maybe we do not have the best solution or option in the world, but actually we have to select the United States as opposed to China, because that is the main summary of our discussion.
Okay. Go ahead.
Three. In terms of the conflicts between US and China, I just would like to add on the one aspect other than the business side. I think technological conflict is not simply ended up with the business. I think it will be escalated up to the military conflicts or security issues. So that's one thing. And also the conflict between US and China is also not simply ended up conflict between two countries. For instance, next year in Taiwan there will be the election of the national leader, and I think it will be like the place that we can see the conflict between US and China takes place. Like currently, one of the candidates is a business person who is really supporting to the harmony with the Chinese government, the Honghai, the company. So I think we can see it's kind of essential in Chinese.
Thank you very much. I think we've covered a lot of things. And even though that was a topic which is a little bit difficult, not very much familiar with all sorts of things that we are dealing with, I thought it was a very good session with the experts and with your discussion. So please join me in giving a big hand.
Go, go, SINCA!